Welcome to
Wow.
the podcast.
That's a great
I like
intro
it.
right
I like
there.
it.
That's how we do it.
I'm Diane, and we have Elia and Rob, as
what's up?
usual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for this episode, we're going to talk about some complications or struggles, difficulties as a foreigner living in Japan. And I can start with the visa, the most important thing you need to,
Yes.
legally survive here in Japan.
Yeah.
Mhm. Don't mess with the visa.
So coming here is one thing, getting the visa, and then like getting sponsored by a company. I think maybe you can jump right into a marriage visa if you could do that, right? I'm not sure about that one.
I think it's more complicated than that. You have to be married, and there has to be like you have to have money or something.
There's lots of documents you have to
it's a
go
whole
through.
thing. Yeah.
But I think it's doable. But I think
Yes.
most people our age range come through like a teaching, educational type of visa. And that would be the easiest way to get to Japan. Getting an English teaching company to sponsor that. I think all of us had an instructor visa first.
Yes.
Yep, that's
Yes.
true.
And then eventually, at least Rob and I, we had ours changed to the specialists in humanities visa, where with that one you can work with eikaiwas instead of like board of education type
Yes.
teaching companies. So the complications. So a foreigner's favorite place in Japan is the immigration office. Our
Let's
most
go!
favorite place.
Yes.
The struggle has never been so real.
Yeah.
So
Every year.
for those in the US, you understand what the DMV is, the Department of Motor Vehicle. It's similar to that as far as waiting and doing things over and over and over again and getting very little in return for an extended period of time. It
Yeah.
takes up your whole
Yep.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Day.
And
Takes
it's
up
in
a
another
month.
language. It's usually
Yeah.
never in English. So if you're not fluent in Japanese, it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
I was lucky my first time in Japan because they knew English. Like one lady could speak English.
Really?
And that was great.
Mhm.
Because that back then my Japanese was like zero. Like I knew nothing. It was my first year in Japan, and I need to renew it because I have a 1-year visa. I had to renew, and it was crazy. Like there were so many documents, and apparently you have to take the documents with you, and some other documents are there.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
yeah. The most.
And they're like, "Where's this paper?" You're like, "Here." "Where's that paper?" "Here." And they're like, "Where's the third paper?" I'm like, "I didn't get that. I don't know." And then
Yeah.
you have to
Right.
get this third paper, and you're like, "Okay."
Right? Yeah, that's the most
Yeah.
annoying thing. So when you go to immigration and you ask them, what do I need to renew my visa or whatever, and they tell you, right? They tell you what you need, and you get it, and you come back and give it to them, and then there's another person working, and they're like, no, we need this document. And you're like, but what this person told me? They're like, no, we need this one. Sorry, this one. So you
Yeah.
go back and get it and come back. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you pass. If not, maybe it's another worker that's like, no, what?
Mhm.
We need this. We need this document.
The
Huh?
worst
What are
thing
you?
is that this can also happen in the office with different people on that same day as well. Because you have to go to multiple counters. You go to one counter to do one thing, and then they send you to another counter for another, and then they send you back to the original counter for something, and then they send you to another place that's approving it, and then it'll depend whether or not they are going to approve it or not, and they might just send you back to square one, and then they'll be like, oh, what Diane said, you don't have this document, please come back another day.
Yeah.
And then you do this process again and again over the course of a month. If you're lucky, it usually takes longer than a month to get this stuff done.
Yes.
I can get into my story a little later, just
Okay.
because it's super fresh in my mind, because I'm currently going through this right now as we speak.
I can
Yeah.
lead to it,
Mhm.
starting with sometimes you have to blame your company for writing in the wrong information. Well, I don't know
Yes.
if it's truly your company or them, but they're like, this information here is wrong or missing. And you tell your company and they're like, no, we filled it out right. No, for sure it's right.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
sometimes like you have to like you have to make visits and sometimes you have to mail and then you have to wait for mail. You have to mail again.
Yeah.
That process right there is great.
Yeah.
That happened to me where like they filled in the information and it was apparently incorrect. And I remember calling the guy and then I told him, here, you can talk to him. He was the boss of the company and they talked with each other for like 15 minutes. And the lady was super kind, so she kind of like refilled it out some way, like it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
And then she's like, all right, you're good. And that was like the easiest time I've ever had when I had them talk to each other instead of me having to be like the middle person. That helped so much.
Mhm.
These are just two Japanese
Wow.
people. They know what they need. They're like talking. Okay, get this. I have this. I boom, boom, easy. It was super convenient. It took me like 15 minutes. Other
That
times
is
it could
nice.
take you months. So it just
Yeah.
depends on your luck, I guess.
It does because I had a time where the company and like immigration, they were like, "Yep, that's correct. Yep, that's correct." Sent in, waiting. Oh, but there was a problem. Like what?
Oh no.
What?
Oh no.
Yeah.
You both just confirmed it was okay, and they're like, no, oops, we missed the
That's
spot."
because they waited a day before they sent it to the next people, and then the next people had to be all like, like, oh, actually,
Yeah.
Mm.
Sometimes I think they purposely want to find a reason to be like, no, no, sir.
Yeah.
It does seem that
Try
way.
again.
Um, Now this actually does lead into my story.
Yes.
If you don't mind.
Mm.
No, go ahead.
So I, long story short, to lead up to my story, I've been having trouble with my visa for over 6 months now. It was supposed to renew in January, and I had to get information from my company. Now, I was trying to do this a couple months in advance just to get it over with, so I didn't have to be renewing my visa like around the holidays, around Christmas and New Year's. So I called up my company and I was just kind of like, can I do this now? And this is like November, right? I'm trying to do it super early. And they're like, no, wait till December. You gotta wait till like it's closer to the date because you want the most time possible, right? And I was like, all right, I guess it makes sense. So I waited, and then the person who I was talking to in my company decided to go on vacation. Perfect timing. And
Nice.
to get the correct documents signed for my visa to be renewed, this specific person had to stamp it. Now, I don't know why anyone couldn't just borrow their stamp, because it's a stamp. No one can tell who stamps it, right? It's not even a signature. It's right, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because how are they going to know? You know what I mean? That's why the Honko system, which is another problem, is broken in Japan. But anyway, getting into that some other day. Essentially, they needed to wait for the person to come back. They did. I got to the immigration office super late. They're like, hey, your stuff's kind of like expiring real soon. This information's null and void. You have to reapply. Here's a temporary visa to give you 6 months to do that. So now I'm like, okay, I have to go through the whole process again, collecting the information again, getting my company to fill out the correct information, me filling out everything. And then I wait. Everything's signed and dated. And I go to the immigration office. And now this is what I did a couple weeks ago, where I go see one guy. He says, oh, everything's great, but there's one date on here that's a little old. It's 3 months old. And I'm like, yeah, that's when my company signed this paper, when I had to redo everything. And they're like, that's too old. You have to have them fill it out all over again and put a new date. And I was just kind of like, all the information is the same. My job has not changed. My pay has not changed. There is no reason to change this date. That's me saying, I didn't say it exactly like that. I was much nicer. But I was just trying to reason how what kind of sense does that make, So he said, okay, well, go to this counter and see if they accept it, right? So I go over to the other counter.
Okay.
And The guy looks at it and pretty much says, that doesn't matter, but you should look into this, and points out a different issue, which sends me back to the original counter. And then I go to the original counter and he says, oh yeah, that's not a problem, I approve that, but what about the original problem? And I'm like, that guy said he didn't care. So he had to call over his manager, and then that manager had to call over their manager. And I have 3 people looking at this thing like, it's like the ketchup thing at McDonald's that we were talking about, right? It's like it's like the no cheese on the cheeseburger, please. Like, it's that kind of thing, and they're not like, it's this guy's job to say that it matters because I care about it, but he says he doesn't care. So what does that mean? I had to be like, it means it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? And then 2 hours later, I eventually got to leave, and I still don't have my visa because I had to mail something to them regardless. The guy who originally said that this date is a problem, and then the other guy said it wasn't. First guy said, actually, I decided it is a problem, so you have to send in this paperwork over again, regardless of what the other guy said. So I don't even know why I had to speak to that other guy at all. You know what I mean? So, yeah, now it's been almost a month, and I'm still waiting in the mail to get the approval whether or not my visa is going to be okay or not. And that's just how it goes here. That's just one example of some crazy.
That's one of the worst parts of it. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You're approved, right? Maybe it is true, and you have to wait for something to be in the mail. Then you gotta bring that. You gotta pay $40.
Yeah.
For that stamp.
4,000.
The revenue stamp.
Yeah, the revenue stamp.
When you take it back to immigration, you have to go again. And then you're waiting like, please let me have it. That little piece of plastic, let me have it.
Yeah.
Please.
But I must say, like, everything is very individual. So if you go and you're renewing your stuff, it could be easy peasy. And if your name is Rob, unfortunately, stuff will be very difficult for you at every turn.
One day,
no
it doesn't matter what
please,
you do.
in Japan. Just kidding.
One day, I hope to ascend to the great being known as the god of misfortune, because I feel like that's just how I am. I think I am like, I am known for destroying technology just by looking at it. You know, like I got like legal issues with documents, crazy. You know, I've got weird bills that I have to pay that were never explained to me regarding previous apartments. And like that's the other thing. Recently, I got a notice that I have to pay for a cleaning fee that they didn't decide to charge me until 2 months. I mean, not 2 months, almost 2 years after the fact.
Yep. That's weird.
Wow.
Like when Diane and I lived inside.
Some guy's like, shit, I forgot he has to pay this.
It's been almost like 2 years since Diane and I lived in that previous place, and now I'm getting like messages every week saying like, hey, you have to pay like almost $400 because we forgot to charge you before for cleaning in this place. So if you don't do it,
final warning.
Yeah, final warning. It's been a final warning for 6 times because I haven't been paying it because I didn't know what it was for originally, right? I was trying to find it, but they're not picking up their phones either, so I don't know what that's about. But anyway, but yeah, so it's just kind of like,
it sounds like a scam, dude.
That's what I contacted the company. I'm like, what is this? Please explain this, you know, because I really don't want to pay it. And yeah, but it is technically Leo Palace, so I know it's not like scam, you know, it's like an actual it's not just some random landlord. It's an established company. So
I thought maybe someone was like, you know, extorting you for money.
Yeah, like it's not the real thing, and that's why I contacted their actual like people on their website to be like, is this real, you know? And it is, unfortunately. It's just weird how late they were with it, right? You know,
2 years,
almost 2 years. Maybe they've been trying to get a hold of me before that, and it's just been difficult for them because I moved around a bit. So that could be on my end, that could be my fault. But at the same time, it's kind of weird that like I have to pay this bill that I thought I was good with. I thought I paid everything already, but I guess I didn't. You know,
but you have to pay everything before you leave the apartment.
That's what I thought. So I thought I was done.
No one. You're in the clear.
Yeah. I went to them when I handed the keys and I said, "Are there any other fees I have to pay?" They said, "No, you're good," and I walked out. You know?
Because they would not let you leave if you haven't paid all this.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's a little crazy.
Yeah, just saying, if your name is Rob, you might want to consider to change it to Robbie before you come to Japan.
Well, I used to be
something
Robbie.
else.
I used to be Robbie.
Okay, don't go Robbie. Just your name is now Adam. Congratulations. I don't know. But
There you go, Adam.
no, it's like the thing is, all of these things we talk about are so individual. Like it can apply to some people in some ways, and to other people it doesn't. It's just really crazy. I know Diane had some problems. I've had some problems in other places. Like it's just, we don't speak the language fluently enough to be able to carry out a governmental conversation. Not yet, but if you do, all of these problems, you wouldn't have these problems. If you speak Japanese, Japan is so easy. It's just like the language barrier is very difficult, unfortunately.
But here's the thing too. We say that, and that is absolutely true. But there are even Japanese people who don't understand the legal talk. Period.
Yeah.
Or the documents that come with it. Recently, Diane, you and I met with a past coworker, and he has a Japanese girlfriend. He's from America, and he knows more Japanese characters than she does. So he's the one who had to fill out Japanese documents with like legal binding stuff that she wasn't able to understand.
Yeah.
And she's like a nurse in Japan. You know what I mean? So it's not like she's not doing anything. She's experienced in her field, but when it comes to like, what does this say? Like, I don't know this kanji. And he does, because he studied it for years compared to like whatever, and that's the difference, where there's native Japanese people who don't even use this kind of kanji anymore, but if you're a foreigner, you have to learn it because it's just part of the process. So it's the balance is kind of wild, even for Japanese natives. It's really interesting. Yeah.
But it's different for everyone. You're gonna experience a lot of different things, so just embrace it. It might be annoying in the beginning, but you'll learn in time.
There are also foreigners who don't have any issues whatsoever. Like sometimes they either get lucky or whatever that is. Like once again, Diane, you and I know someone who's been in Japan for 7+ years, and they never had issues with pension despite them not paying it. Like you're supposed to pay pension because originally you didn't have to, but then they changed the law and now you have to. And this guy was just
exempt for 1 year. Your first year you're exempt from paying pension, and then after that first year you have to pay pension.
And this guy's 7 years running, and he's had no issue whatsoever, and he's just like, I'll pay it back when I like have the money. I'll just do it all in one go. And I'm like, sure you will, pal. But
I know that's a system too. Like you'll be in debt to the pension system basically, which you have to pay. So if you ever want pension, you're gonna have to pay in all that money so that you are eligible to receive pension. So if that person stays in Japan, they're gonna need to have to pay their pension, otherwise they're not getting it.
Well, is that until like 50? Was it 50 years old or something?
No, what is it? What's pension age in Japan? Like 60 something? 60
I have no idea.
65? In Sweden, it's like 65. I don't know what it is in Japan. Yeah, and I know in some countries that number is increasing. Like in Sweden, for example, like the younger generation has to, I think you have to be older now to get your pension. Because people live longer, I guess. Or maybe there's more people. Something like that.
At that age.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but just to go back, like it doesn't matter if it's the visa stuff. In general, government stuff in Japan is a hassle. It's a bit difficult to get your My Number card, to get your
your
all
taxes,
your tax papers,
driver's license.
This sounds like it's a lot. Like, wow, all my time in Japan is gonna be running to the government office. Not really.
You just gotta get through it.
You just have to get like
just
some portions of
it's
just a week or so of like rough paper gathering, and then you're fine. And it's only like the first year where it's difficult because that's when you have to get everything done. Your second, third, fourth year is so much easier. There's so much less to do. Like you have to do your taxes, you have to do
Yeah,
your pension
opening up
stuff.
like bank account when you go to
Yeah.
the post office, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Make
are
your
the
home
difficult
go.
parts. As soon as you've gone through those things, you're good. The first year is the most difficult year. Also, if you speak Japanese, you're pretty good. Like I think you got it most down.
I'm gonna say the first year of you doing it on your own is the most difficult, because if
Yes.
you have a company that sponsored you to come to Japan, they're probably going to do that for you your first year.
Yes.
But then after that is when pension comes into play. It's when you might move to a new area. It's when you're going to be dealing with apartment stuff. Like all of it comes at you at once that you have to deal with. If you have an English teaching job, honestly, it's probably going to depend how much money you make with whatever career you have, but that's going to determine how long your residence card, your visa, is going to be. So right now, because, for example, Diane and I don't really have the most well-paying English teaching jobs. It's like normal pay. They, so you're only paying so much for your taxes, right? The Japanese government is kind of like, well, let's be honest, you're not super important, so you get 1 year extra when you renew your visa. So you're going to get 1 year every time, so you have to renew it every year. But maybe if you work in IT or some entertainment company or something else and you're making bank with your job, they'll be like, oh, you'll get 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Or
less
if you are in
taxes.
education, you want to continue in education. If you work for this, like the board of education, which some of us
used to.
they recommend it. Like when we used to work for the board, we worked in schools. But you can also work for the board. Like actually the board sends you out as an English teacher where you go and work as an English teacher. And those programs, like those jobs, will give you a lot longer of a visa term, right? A couple years. It's just that those entry-level jobs in Japan will give you a year. And if you just stay at that job, you're just teaching English every year, you're just going to get that 1 year on as an Eikai or whatever. But if you do, you level up. You go like from like maybe a teaching job to maybe a senior teaching job, or like you have more experience, blah blah. You might get a longer visa. It just depends what your title is and how much money you're making, and then they'll give you a better type of visa. And if you're in Japan long enough, you can apply to be a permanent resident. But that's a whole different other thing. That's difficult. We won't get into that because you need to be a lawyer to understand that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like we basically don't even understand like when we talk about this visa stuff, it's just scratching the surface. There's so many layers of visas in Japan, just as any other country. It's a very complex system, which is why we let the professionals, the lawyers, take care of that. We don't we just get the papers we get, or we say we need these papers, and then we go. That's all we do. And that's all we can do in this regard. So don't be like hard on yourself. And if it doesn't work out, it's not really your fault. It's the big brains of the operation who are letting you down, I guess.
Yeah. And I do want to say something that was positive about the it's even hard to accept this, but there was something positive going to immigration for me, and that was that I was very scared because I was running out of time with my visa, like I mentioned before, back in January, and I was thinking that I'm going to get deported. I'm going to get kicked out because my job didn't do their responsibility, right?
So nerve-wracking.
It was so nerve-wracking. I thought I was going to have to leave.
Always.
And so when I went there and they I went up to the counter, I took a ticket to wait my turn, and they told me, when it's your turn, we're going to take you out into the back room. And I'm thinking like they're gonna take me out back and shoot me, right? Yeah, they're gonna beat me up and they're gonna put me in a box and mail me back to America, and they're gonna find me in the ocean. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna be on a special of Deadliest Catch, just found in a box in a crab net. But anyway, what happened is that I eventually did get called up, and I went into the back room, and you know, I had
beat you
this. No, it was actually a very nice young lady who explained to me, saying like, "Hey, these documents you mailed to us are really late." And I said, "I'm sorry, my company gave them to me late. What can I do to stay here?" and she said, like, "I'm going to give you a temporary visa, you know, which will be an extension for 6 more months for you to figure it out. You just have to reapply and come back." So, if Japan was really that bad, they could have just sent me home right then and there. They did not have to care to keep me in the country by giving me that second chance. Yeah. So I actually left that day super relieved and grateful. Yes, it wasn't the best situation. It's scary. I still had to reapply to change my visa, which I'm currently going through now, which is also stressful. But this gave me this opportunity to do that. So without that, like the fact that someone looked up something to help me in that situation, like if it was a different person that day, I don't know, they might have said, "Oh, you're out of luck." You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's not like everyone's out to get you. There are kind people, obviously,
definitely
right?
Not. Yeah, definitely not.
No one wants to see someone completely down on their luck, and like,
I hope not.
you know what I mean?
I think in Japan, like there's this level of hospitality and service which is just outstanding. Like you'll never see it anywhere else in the world. Like it's just crazy. And it does even carry into these governmental buildings, you know, like it's these employees are really, really kind. Like they don't want to, like they try to help as much as they can, even if they don't understand English. Like I've seen people go to such great lengths to explain something to you from like Japanese to English when they don't even have to. They could just be like, "Sorry, come back with a translator, peace," you know? Like, that's it. But they take out their phones, try to translate for you, you know, they ask a colleague, like they do whatever they can just to help you, and they don't have to do that.
It's true. So they don't have to do that, and they do sometimes, you know. So that's and these are people who see other people, other foreigners who are showing up upset, angry, sometimes probably yelling at these people, you know what I mean? And they have to do that for at least 8 hours or more, because, you know, the Japanese work every like crazy. They work like 10 hours, 12 hours a day, you know. Just the other day I was talking to someone where they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm on my like 20-minute break right now. I started at 9 a.m. and I'm working till 9 p.m. tonight." And I'm like, "You are why?" It's like, "It's because it's my job and I want to help these people." And I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, service is another level here.
It's a culture thing. Like when I first came to Japan, I wasn't on an instructor visa. Like when we met, I was on an instructor. But when I first went there, it was crazy. Like these people work so much, because I was working for a Japanese company, and there's a mix between commitment and duty. You know what I mean? Like they want to work because if they don't, another person has to do it, and they have to stay much later. So it's like a teamwork effort. Like they help each other out in order to achieve goals, which they have to. And you know, some people are like, "Oh, I just have to do it, that's why I'm staying." But some people really feel that sense of duty. Like we're a company, we're like, we work together, we're a family, whatever. It depends on the culture of that company too. So it depends what kind of company you've gotten into. But yeah, Japanese people do work a lot. Like 12 hours isn't unheard of, you know. 13, 14 hours. It's true. That's where it's at.
In America, it's like, it's 5 p.m. I'm done with my shift. I'm clocking out. Peace.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if there's other work that needs to be done. It's partially because people don't want to pay overtime, because overtime works differently in America than it does in Japan. It's a lot more than what the Japanese get for working overtime.
Even there's no overtime in Japan,
I mean, there is a little bit, but it's not nearly as much as... It's barely anything.
It's sad.
It's sad. It's like normal pay or less than normal pay. It's weird, but people still do it because they have
their job.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to.
They have to. It's just part of it. And in some ways I respect it, but in other ways I feel bad, because honestly I don't think they should be doing it. I think there's so many other ways to be healthy. or things that need to be done to be healthy mentally in this
Yeah.
country.
That leads into depression.
Mm-hmm.
And
There
other
is
things.
research actually about working hours that if you work consistently like less, like 5 or 6 hours is the peak time, and you'll be so much more efficient every day than working longer hours because you won't be as efficient those hours. So
Yeah.
That's me for sure. And I get hangry. I get hungry
Mhm.
after 3 hours. I need more than one break, so I can't do that. My energy level just drops whenever I'm starving.
Mhm.
It's hard to go
It's
on
crazy.
without food and energy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends what kind of person you are, I guess. But you need a really good work ethic, and if you're from a Western country, like the work ethic here is very different than it is in, I don't know, the US or Sweden, for example. I know in Sweden you're like, oh, time to take my break, and you just leave everything. Like you just go and do what you're on your break, and you come back. It's your break time. You don't have that sense of duty. Like you're first. Your mental health, your physical health is very important. So that's the way they see it. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. I finish at 4. See everyone. Like everyone just leaves. It doesn't matter. That's how it works.
Honestly, I would like that for myself more, because I value mental health, or I want to value it more. I now, Elia, maybe you have a better idea about of this, but there are some countries, I don't know if Sweden's one of them, but there are some countries that have, or they're starting to incorporate the 4-day work week, right? Do you know anything about that? Because
Yeah. I've heard it's been in motion it's not a new thing. Like the 4-day work week is not a new thing. It's basically the idea is to stimulate workforce, because you'll basically eliminate workless. Like you won't have any people who don't have jobs, and you'll get more people into the work industry. Also give you more time, for yourself. Your pay would be, of course, less because you're not working as much, but you'd have more free time. I don't think Sweden is going to incorporate that anytime soon. I haven't really heard anything about it, but I know a lot of countries are interested and they're talking about it. But I think some country has to be first to try it out, and then other countries will, trickle down. I think big countries are going to have a difficulty in, doing that, because there's so much that has to go into it. So I think a very brave country has to start out, but I hope it goes. Like the thing is, it's very beneficial in some ways, because you're not working as much, but you get so much more free time to hang out with children, be with your friends, travel, whatever. In Sweden already we have 6-week vacations a year. In Japan we had 4 days, not weeks, 4 days. So just to give you a clear difference in that regard. I know Sweden is one of the countries that has more. I know in the US it's not as much.
So I have another question, and I'll start with you first, Diane. In your opinion, would you prefer the normal work week, which is like full-time, which is like 5 days a week, 8 hours a day? Or would you prefer a 4-day work week, 10 hours a day?
Probably the 4-day thing. Yeah, 10 hours.
10 hours a
It's
day.
long.
It is long.
But it might be worth it for the 3-day weekend.
Lunch break would probably be an hour that you don't get paid for, so it's technically like 11 hours, I guess, but there's that one in the middle somewhere,
Oh, so you're working 10 hours.
You're working
so
a solid 10
your day
hours.
is 11 hours.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's 10 hours worth of pay per day, is what I'm saying.
So if you start, let's say, 8 p.m. No, 8 a.m., sorry, and you'd finish at maybe 6 p.m.?
Yes.
Something like, or like 7 p.m. with that
Yeah,
extra hour.
exactly,
Okay.
like around 7 p.m.
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess, yeah. I mean, ideally, I don't want to work at all. No, I'm kidding. I just want money.
Wow.
You know what I mean? No, that's not true. I think I would have to be working
Every
on something.
everyone's dream.
Yeah,
No,
everyone's.
for me, I'll take the 4 days. You know why? Because I'm already there. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I could, like, the thing is, I value my like individuality and freedom a lot. So
Transportation
if I have to,
time.
it depends
That
what kind of
fast.
work I'm doing too. Is it something I really enjoy? Then it doesn't really matter how much I'm working. But if it's a job I don't like, or just I have to just like make ends meet, then of course 4 days would be a lot better because I'm just working those hours anyways, but in a shorter time span.
Mhm.
Which is nice. You know, you finish at
Mhm.
7, you grab something to eat, you go home, boom, you start the next day. You do that for 4 days, then you're good for the other days. You know,
Yeah.
you have a nice time. Yeah.
I think so. I think having a third like day off would actually do a lot of good. Um, I'm
Mm.
definitely the kind of person that needs time to recover, and I think that third day would allow me to get energy back, and then I could spend the other 2 days being productive on my own stuff or doing something fun.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a lot better
Okay.
for mental health, and might even give me more energy to go into that 4 day work week, to have the energy to work 10 hours
Yep.
at a time, and it might
Mhm.
not even
So
feel like a problem. Yes.
physical health too, then, which is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it would boost productivity almost. But that's just me.
Yeah. But let me ask you this then: that extra day off you have a week. So let's say Saturday, Sunday. Let's just keep that off. Okay, you're off those days. We're working maybe Monday to Friday, right? You have 4 days.
Okay.
Do you want that extra day off to be Friday, Monday, or do you want it to be like a Wednesday? You know, so you work Monday, Tuesday, you're off Wednesday, then you work Thursday, Friday, or do you want to be like Monday to Thursday you're working and you're off Friday to Sunday? You know, what would be the best?
I'm gonna be honest. I want it broken up. I think I would do Monday, Tuesday working, Wednesday as a day
Mhm.
off, and then Thursday,
Mhm.
Friday working, and then I have the weekend.
Hmm.
Yeah, that sounds nice too.
That's what
That'd
I
be a
would do.
nice break in the
Yeah.
middle, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I could probably do like 4 days in a row. I wouldn't want to do. I mean, but that it would be a little harder. I wouldn't want to do 3 and then 1, because that
Yeah.
one day is gonna feel like
Yeah.
senioritis. You know, like when you're kind of like done with
Yep.
school, like but you
Yeah,
still have a
yeah.
month left. It feels like
Sure,
I'm
that
going
wouldn't
in
make
that day
sense.
and I'm just looking at the weekend because I'm just gonna
Yeah.
try to get through this. And I feel like that would be the least productive day. So I think it's
Yeah.
gotta be 2 and 2 or 4 straight.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would be great to have, Friday off.
I would love Friday off.
Because then, you're rested on Saturday. You don't have to rest Saturday because you've already done your resting period on Friday, right?
Yeah.
So you wake up because actually you're working longer hours or like normal Japanese hours on those days, right? So you come like that day, you wake up a bit later, you have a nice breakfast, you chill a bit, and boom, you're done. You have half of your Friday to do whatever you want, and your whole Saturday and Sunday to do whatever you want. But instead, now you wake up Saturday, you're a bit tired, you have to rest, and then you only have a day and a half,
Mhm.
So
Yep.
so that's kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they do implement the 4. It will never happen in Japan. Let's just be honest. That's maybe 40 years from now.
I probably won't be
Um,
alive for it.
probably
I can't see it happening.
People work here
Yeah.
almost every day
Yeah. Yeah.
because at the bar I work at, the customers sometimes they literally choose
Yeah.
to work every day. Well, because most of them are their own business owners, so they're choosing their own schedule. But because they want things done all the time, their own way, they're working every single day.
That's
They'll
what I
take
do,
a day off if
basically.
they really need it.
Mhm,
But sometimes they'll have day offs where they work on their days off,
mhm.
something
Yeah.
like that.
I-
Yeah, because they
That's-
want to
that's-
work.
That's basically what it is like for me too. I choose my own hours, so I might be working every day, and then some days I don't work as much, or it's
Mm.
so. But the thing is, when you do that, you're kind of setting yourself up for a lot of work because you're always working all the time. So you're like, I'll just do this. So you do it, and then you get caught up in other things, and like 5 hours later, oh damn, it's Saturday, I should go out. It's
Yeah.
that's how it is.
I think
Yeah.
that's the case for all of us these days, especially because we're we're working as a group here for this and the stuff that we do on the side. So speaking for myself, I know that I have 2 part-time jobs right. And then we have our group here. The stuff that we all do stuff for this, but the stuff I do here, you know, there's a lot of editing involved, and reviewing content and things like that, and brainstorming stuff, and that happens when I would theoretically have a day off. So it's like I work one job, I work another job, and then when I would have a day off, I'm editing a podcast. So it's like, I think that sure, I'm not working 8 hours every single day of the week. Like, I'm not complaining about that, but I think every single day there's at least a few hours of work somewhere being done on something. So I honestly can't remember the last time I had like a 100% day off where it was just me, you know. I don't remember that. It was probably months ago, maybe a year ago at this point, because we've been doing this for a while. Not just podcasts, but with other stuff that we've worked on as well. So
we have. So that's what we're differentiating too. That's what people understand. This is some stuff, and there's other stuff. It's a clear divide for us in our brains. Yeah,
exactly. There's stuff behind the scenes that people don't actually see that goes on.
So that's kind of interesting, honestly. And I know Diane works a lot. I know you're busy a lot. But the thing is also recording these and, you know, doing other things. Like, there's so much fun stuff you can do. And I think we don't have to limit ourselves as humans of just working all the time, you know. I think we want a lot of stuff. And I think we all want, you know, to achieve things, and we want to do stuff. So that's why we put in the work and we put in the hours. But in the end, we can't forget the, you know, having fun. I think this is something for us. I think we created this for us as a break too. You know, we just talk, we hang out for a couple hours, we talk, we have fun.
It is.
Then when this podcast, you know, when we end this recording, I know I'm going back. You know, I have to work, I have to do stuff. So, but for now, these hours.
Or rest. I have to rest.
You have to, because it's very late for you. But so it's, you know, you have to take a break. You have to have fun. Hang out with your friends.
I work more than I rest.
No.
This is,
This is actually going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it a convention? What's the word I'm looking for? Intervention. Is it intervention for Diane? Diane, you work too much?
Maybe.
So we're here today to tell you that you should take more breaks. Can you please chill out?
Nope. Tell my bills that. I'm just kidding.
Seriously. Oh, okay, my bad.
Got bills in the States, got bills in Japan.
Double bills.
That's how it works.
It's okay. And I gotta start saving, you know, in case for future emergencies. I don't know, any emergency medical bills. I'm scared for my health, legit. Imagine me working so hard to save up money, and then I just like die from that. Not like die, but like.
Don't say that.
Die in Minecraft? In Minecraft, not in real life.
Not like actual die, but just like, you know, crash from all that work, and then
burnout.
Having to go to the hospital and then spend all that hard-earned money to heal.
The thing is, it's not really worth it to burn yourself out, because then you can't make money later. You know what I mean? It's actually counterproductive in some ways. Like, you're working so hard to make money, then you get sick, and then you can't pay your bills. It's crazy.
Elia, you might remember this, but I remember first year for me in Japan, and Diane too. We were working our other English dispatch job, working for the Board of Education, like going to these schools every day. I worked for a few days with like an ear infection, and I was like dizzy, and I didn't really know what was going on. And then it got to the point where I was having trouble walking because I was so dizzy. And then I told you that, and you were like, "Well, I'm taking you to the hospital right now, buddy."
Like, it's crazy. He calls me up, like, not like, the thing is, Rob, Diane, and I, like, we spoke pretty much every day. Like, we used to hang out a lot,
Yeah.
and like after work, whatever. But like these couple days, it was super busy period in school,
Yeah.
whatever. You know, we have a lot of stuff to do. Rob calls me up. He's like, hey, dude, like, I might have this ear infection. I'm like, you might or you do? He's like, no, it's painful. I was like, all right, I'm coming. So I drove over. We got Rob. We went to the hospital. It was serious. It wasn't.
They hooked me up to an IV.
Yeah.
I remember. Not sure if you saw me with the IV or if I walked out with my arm bandaged up and Diane like showed up and you were like, "What'd they do to you?"
Yeah, I was like, because the thing is,
What are you doing here?
Yeah, why?
What did you do?
Yeah.
Because I know I met you, Diane. We went to Starbucks because they had to hook Rob up to some machines and stuff.
Mhm.
I could see into the examination room. Like, I could see you. You know,
Oh,
like
you
were
could?
laying down there.
I didn't know that.
I could see you, but because it was like a big door, and I was like peeking in just to make sure you were okay. Because
Okay, cool.
you didn't speak any Japanese, and I know you
No,
were like
I got
nervous
nothing.
about it. And the doctor was looking at me like, "What the fuck? This guy needs medication. You know, he needs help." You know, because it was apparently really bad. And from what I know, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just saying, but you can get like loss of hearing and stuff if
Yeah.
it's really bad. So, and the doctor was like, "You should have come here like 5 days ago." Like, just saying.
Yeah.
So we were like really translating, trying to figure it out. And Diane was like, "I don't know what I'm doing here." But
Yeah.
anyways, it was.
I can't even remember what happened or
Yeah.
how you got it.
It was very sudden. Like it was just a couple days. Like something hurt. I ignored it. It turned out that water got stuck. This happens a lot to me, actually. Water got stuck in my ears. It didn't drain properly. It grew bacteria after time, so it infected my ear, my inner ear. It's happened to me before. There
Water
was.
just can be so dangerous sometimes.
It's so dangerous.
The
Yeah.
water, dude.
Yeah.
Water.
And
It's
this
the
this was
water's fault.
this was like the summertime too, so humidity, it probably like sped up the process, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Those of you who know Japanese humidity,
no
you
joke,
know.
Japanese summer is no
You
joke.
know.
We're suffering at
Yeah.
this minute, this
Yeah.
moment.
We've blasting the AC on, but
Sticky,
it's
sticky.
barely countering what's happening outside right now. But yeah,
Japan is really humid. Yeah.
with ear infections with me, there was I had another ear infection that was worse than the one that you saw, Elia. This happened in America. My parents.
You didn't learn from the first time?
No,
Rob?
I didn't apparently. So this
Oh,
makes it
wow.
sound really dumb. Yeah, this one was
Yeah.
worse though, and I think maybe this is why the one in Japan, like I thought, oh, it's no big deal because I've had worse pain, you know.
That makes zero sense whatsoever.
Don't
Okay,
worry about it.
Sure,
No,
go ahead. Yeah.
so the time in America was when my parents went on a little vacation together because they haven't done that in a really long time, so they wanted to spend time doing something elsewhere out of town. So they left, and my mom also takes care. She does pet sitting, you know.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
she was worried about going. She's like, "Oh, I have all these jobs, whatever." And she asked me, like, "Can you help me out?" And I said, "Of course. I'll watch the cats, or I'll take out the dogs, or whatever that is. It's fine. It's no big
Mhm.
deal. I love animals."
Mhm.
So I went and did that. And while they were gone, I'm like driving back and forth and stuff, and I'm going about my life. And of course, I shower at some point while they're gone. Do it a few times actually, because clean. You know, be cleanly and all that jazz.
I don't have a pen.
Sorry. And I'm fidgeting. And I had really bad headaches, and I was having trouble sleeping, and I had like a pounding in my head, and it got worse and worse over time. And then, and this was going on for a straight week, and it was getting worse and worse, and I was losing sleep. It got to the point where I just didn't sleep, and I'm still driving back and forth to work, freaking dizzy. Stupidest decision I've ever made in my life. I picked my parents up at like the ferry, like at night, you know, when they got back into town, and I told my dad, I was just kind of like, "You need to drive home because I can't see straight." You know, so they drive home. The next day they take me to the doctor, he checks me out and he looks at me and he says, "I don't know how you're not dead." Like, he was just like,
Wow.
like, you could have died like 3-4 days ago with what you have. Apparently, I had an inner ear infection and an outer ear infection in both ears.
What? How are you alive right now?
Right. I don't know.
Guys, I just want to say to everyone listening, right?
Don't be
If
me.
your head, if your head ever goes dun 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 for a week, just saying.
Yeah, it was bad.
Just saying. I'm just saying. Go to the doctor. I'm not a professional. I can't give you advice, but just from being a normal human being and hearing all the things Rob said, which makes me want to go to Rob and be like, dude.
Look,
Listen
man,
to your body.
Look, man,
What?
I'm speaking
It
from.
wasn't that bad. My head was just throbbing. I was dizzy. I broke 3 legs.
Couldn't drive anymore.
Listen,
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
It's
It's fine.
as my dad would say, it's tough being Italian. We're very stubborn. But you know, in America, it's going to the doctor is not an easy thing to do when you don't have health insurance. And at the time, I was running with no health insurance because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was afraid of going to the doctor while my parents are gone, and they're going to be like, "Oh, this X amount of money, please." And then I would get screwed because I didn't know who I went to, if they were reliable or not. And it was like I was going to go to the doctor, but I had other responsibilities, and
Yeah.
I wanted to wait for my parents because they know more than I did, right?
Yeah.
And they might actually be able to help me out with whatever insurance that they have, and I don't know anything about that, or at least I didn't at the time, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Not a good excuse. Don't do what I did. Go to the freaking doctor. Call someone who does know something and do it. I was stupid.
Yeah.
I was young. I'm never doing that again, except I did in Japan. Don't worry about that though.
Don't worry
I-
about the was.
I
stupid.
did
Just
call
know
you,
it
Elia.
was.
I did call you, and that's more than
That's
I ever done
true.
before.
He's your
That's
doctor.
true.
You trusted
He's
him.
like,
Yeah.
He's like, call the adult.
Yeah,
He'll figure it
yeah,
out.
I was just like,
Um,
Elia, I need an adult, and he was like, "Be right there."
Yeah. The thing is, I can tell you so many things about Rob, right? He's so dedicated when we work, you know, with everything he does. He's so dedicated. He gets things done. He's a perfectionist. But when it comes to himself, dude, take care of yourself more. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Don't call me 5 days later after an ear infection. Be like, I might have an ear infection.
I
No,
might be
dude.
dying.
The neighbors knew you had an ear infection because it was so red. So it was fine. It's crazy. No, dude,
As he's
it's okay.
talking about how we should work less because it's better for our mental
Yeah,
and physical
he's like,
health.
"Yeah, it's better."
What?
Yeah.
Do you hear yourself?
Yeah.
Apparently not,
Yeah.
since your ears don't work.
Yeah. That's true.
Got me. I'm dead. Wow.
Damn,
Just kick me while I'm down. No.
Alright.
No, I appreciate the kind
Advice.
words and advice. I do.
The reality words.
It's honestly,
Yeah.
it's not advice. It's just common sense, my dog. It's,
Oh no.
it's not really advice.
Words.
It's
Yeah. Okay.
it's you
Just
know,
kick him in the brain.
kick him in the brain.
What's in there?
No,
I'm
my,
just kidding.
my brain don't work too good these days, guys.
The thing is, because I'm thinking like this. If your mom and dad are listening to this, they'll be like, Rob.
Oh,
no,
you know,
I'm
and
expecting
they
a
can't
phone
do-
call. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't do that right now. So I'm doing it for them. So later they'll be like, okay, Elia said half of it. Here's the other half, and they'll let you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's guys, please. Just I know I don't want to get political. I know there's a lot of different things about health insurance and whatever in the U.S. and I know it's not always great, but at least seek some kind of help. You know, just do some Google.
Dude.
You know, my ear is hurting. I'm kind of dying. What should I do? I don't know.
Yeah. But don't self-diagnose yourself. You should still see a professional.
Don't do that. Yeah. No, get some kind of help. Maybe there's a free alternative
Yeah.
somewhere. No, maybe don't trust those. Just do your research. Do your research. Okay.
I usually research and self-diagnose to save money.
That doesn't work.
See, you're just as bad as me.
For the most. No.
that doesn't work.
I've never
that
had anything
doesn't work.
like you. Those
Okay.
burns and those ear explosions. I don't know what those were.
I've been learning a lot about Rob's body these couple podcasts.
You're welcome.
His legs are burning. His ears are on fire.
Yeah, I can't have that
Who knows?
OnlyFans
He
foot
bled a
account.
lot. There's something.
What?
Damn.
What
Bled a
was
lot?
it?
What?
What?
You had a big
a
accident where you bled a lot.
Maybe it was my
and that
brain because I
caused-
don't remember this.
We talked about it with the phobia thing. Why?
Oh, yeah, that was forever. Yeah, that was when I broke my nose. When I was like 9 or 8 or something. Yeah.
You had all these
happened.
injuries. I've never had any
Yeah.
injury like that before
Yeah.
in my life.
Well, I've had a lot of injuries, but Rob's injuries are special to Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think only Rob can experience.
Yes.
Rob's
I'm a
injuries.
special case.
Yeah. most humans are like, I broke my leg, I broke my arm. Rob is like,
I haven't broken any bones,
saw an
but I hurt
alien,
myself
and
all the
then
time.
I don't know what happened, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just Rob stuff.
I saw an alien. Now I have a third arm growing out of my back. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I have weaknesses, but not like major. I've never dealt with major damages, like lactose intolerance or heartburn, or like riding on roller coasters too long. My back will start hurting and my neck.
Oh yeah, you
Also,
have like a
Diane-
back issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diane also
Yeah.
has the weirdest symptoms known to mankind.
But
Yeah.
but here's another thing, Diane. Now I'm gonna pick on you a little bit. You're lactose intolerant, but you like love eating cheese and like dairy products and things, and you're like, this is going to hurt my stomach, and then you go into it anyway. And I get that we have cravings and stuff, but I don't know. I don't see how that's so much different than what I deal with.
I take some
What?
digestive enzymes and diarrhea medicine and Pepto-Bismol and all that
Pepto-Bismol.
stuff and in hopes it would help. Sometimes it does.
Well, it's
Well,
You know
I
what I
can't
mean.
take better ears when I shower. That's just not a thing. Otherwise, I would.
can't you
Just
cover
tape
them?
duct
Don't you
tape.
have like those cover thingies?
No.
You should get those. I'll get you those for Christmas. The ear cover. I don't know if those are a thing. If
Duct
those are a
tape's
thing,
cheaper.
please link me those. Yeah, but duct tape is gonna be so annoying to take. We need him to
But that's
hear
the point.
because he needs to edit the podcast, so he needs to hear.
I do.
So
need
we
to
can't
hear
can't
things.
really yeah. So for now, don't use duct tape. Use those. I'll get you some for Christmas. It's fine.
My mom has an
Um,
ear issue. She has like 5% of her hearing in one ear.
Dang.
Yeah, she used to be a really good swimmer when she was young.
Mhm.
I mean, she's still probably a good swimmer, but she used to do it like competitively, right?
Mhm.
Wow.
And she got Meniere's disease, I think it's called, and she lost like the majority of her hearing in one of her ears. So on her left side,
Mhm.
if you're talking to her, she good chance that she probably won't hear you. You know, you have to
Oh
like,
no.
yeah. So she's
Dream-
but she's
Is
had
it
that her
caused
whole
by
life.
water?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
caused by
What is
water.
it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know what that disease is, so I'm just trying to figure it out.
Wow, water is
now.
dangerous.
Yeah, water.
do it.
Yeah, it's
Like the thing is,
Don't
water
shower.
in really damp spaces for a long period of time is dangerous. Yes.
Hate it. Mold.
Um,
That's
so
I hate it so
Be
much.
careful, I also don't use Q-tips very far down. Just be sure you clean out.
I
your
use
ears
Q-tips way
properly.
too much. I need to go
The
see like
Q-tips are
I don't go
fine,
deep.
but the outer layers.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
go
yeah.
digging inside because you're just pushing more inside and you're making it worse.
Yep.
Your ears are self-lubricant, I guess. It pushes shit out, and that's what you should be scraping away.
Yeah. Has anyone here got their ears professionally cleaned? Anyone
I
tried that?
have had my ear
Yes.
candled before.
I'm like
Ear candle?
Is that
What's
the
that?
right term? Ear candling?
handling.
Ear candling. You're gonna post a picture, Rob?
Please.
Is that when they put a
Do I
candle
want
in
to?
your ear
Is
and they
that
light
gonna
it?
be gross or not? Or
No. It looks like a cone you stick inside your ear. And you
Ear
burn it.
Candle.
and you burn it?
Kindling. Yes. But
Oh.
I researched about it again many years later after remembering this experience when I was young, and apparently it's not good for you, but I'm not really sure.
I kind of want to see like a ear cleaning specialist person and just to see like
I went
the
twice.
stuff they pull
Yeah,
out.
I want to for sure. I want to.
So you know that when we were, it was actually the year we met when we became teachers because we got that super good health insurance because
Yeah.
as if you work for a big company, you have this super good health insurance, right? So everything is super cheap when you
Usually.
go.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, for the companies I worked for before
Mhm.
you went to the
Yeah.
the stuff you did,
Yeah,
but
important companies. Yeah.
yeah, but for big companies like now and stuff, you have this really good health insurance where everything is super cheap. So for me, I knew I was allergic to stuff, but I didn't know what because I kept getting a stuffy nose. Because I knew with the cat stuff, I was like, something is happening. I wasn't used to being, allergic to cats because I had cats. So I did the tests, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're allergic to cats and whatever." So I did a couple of things just to use my health insurance. I was like, "Why not?" So I did
Mhm.
the ear cleaning thing, and they like flush water in your ear just to get it like to clean it. I just hit my microphone. Now my hand
I
hurts.
heard that it
Wow.
was like dunk.
Uh, now
That's
my
a nice
hand. I have
sound.
to go to the doctor, guys. Good health insurance. No, anyways, yeah. So they clean out your ears, but the thing is, I don't like gross stuff. So I don't look. I'm like, okay, I'll just look here and you guys do your things. I don't know if it was gross. I have no idea. But I've seen, when you scroll through social media, something like pops up with people like cleaning stuff and it looks disgusting.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people do like that, like popping
Sometimes
videos
it's
and stuff.
satisfying.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah, some people
admit
have
to
like a
that.
satisfying thing, yeah, but
Yeah.
Sometimes I can feel it's super disgusting, legit disgusting, but then like I want to keep watching because I want the process to finish where something's removed, like some nasty thing is in your arm,
yeah.
like something sticking out, and then they're just pulling it
Or like
slowly or
ingrown
sucking
hairs
it
and
out,
stuff. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, or like some kind of unknown part of a body you don't really know yet. You see like a skin color, like almost the entire camera, and then you see like red, or you see pink or purple, green, black, whatever, and you're like, what is that?
Green? Damn.
There's
green.
some wild, gross stuff out there that gets treated and fixed.
I mean, like mucus green,
yeah,
but still, mucus
Anyways.
shouldn't be there. Yeah.
Getting documents in Japan, damn, that's a difficult thing to do.
Man, getting documents is
going
difficult,
back.
but have you ever watched a pimple popping video? My God, no, I can't. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I
No,
do
but
want to
it's
go
crazy,
back.
right?
I did want to say one important thing about that. Of what you said, Elia. After you said being fluent in Japanese, of course, very, very good. But there are some things you can't do as a foreigner, even like no matter how fluent you are in Japanese, like living. I mean, like getting. I like.
Living in bed, you're fine.
A home. I mean, a home.
Dead for years.
House apartment. Yeah, because through experiences, many companies, they don't allow foreigners to live there because you are a foreigner. Doesn't matter how fluent you are in Japanese. And then me and Rob found out, like, this last year, even with our third Japanese roommate, we were not allowed to sign the contract, the lease, because our Japanese roommate, she was trying to have one of us, me or Rob, have the lead, like, be the leader on that contract or whatever, the person.
Yeah.
And they're like, it was a hard no. Yeah, even if we were fluent in Japanese, even if we had a Japanese person to sign for us, like, their name has to be on the lease.
Yeah.
The main one. Yours cannot be. So yeah, we couldn't have gotten this house without that Japanese name.
It's not everywhere though.
It's not.
No,
that's why
I've gotten apartments with my
past,
name.
Yeah, it's possible with depending on the company, especially. We mentioned it, Leo Palace.
Yeah.
So that's a recommendation if you don't have a Japanese person, not fluent in Japanese, whatever, just worried, lost. Leo Palace is trustworthy for foreigners. Just prepare that money. You might have to pay key money.
I do want to say Leo Palace, there's good and bad, so be careful.
Yeah.
Some areas Leo Palace is great, some areas Leo Palace really sucks. And before, Leo Palace was known for these we've talked about this before, but super small rooms. Now they do have bigger rooms and like 2 floors or whatever. They have bigger stuff, but that's not important. For foreigners, it's the best way. If you want to live like easy peasy, you don't even want to think about it, Leo Palace is fine. But you can do what I did. You go to a real estate agency place, you sit down, you ask if there's anyone that speaks English. Usually they do. We had one in Yamaguchi, which is a very tiny place, but there was someone that spoke English, which is awesome. You can do the research beforehand. You go there, you talk to them, you tell them, I want this, 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 and for foreigners. They won't take you to a place that won't allow foreigners. So you already know that you can rent out these places. So you'll be fine. You know, if you're going to live with a Japanese person and you want to co-sign, you still have to do the same thing. Okay with foreigners, like the foreigners have to be on there. Don't be like, yeah, it's okay because I have a Japanese person. As Diane said, no, that's not always the case. You can live there, but you won't be on the contract. And honestly, always be on the contract, whatever you guys do. It's a good safety net for you as well. Doesn't matter how good friends you are with that person. It's just a good safety net for you as a person. Also for your visa, it makes sense because if they ask you where are you living, you're like, yeah, I'm living with these people. They'll be like, okay, cool, because then they know, you know, you're living, you're trying to make you're doing whatever. So it's fine. But yeah, be sure to be on contracts. It's for your benefit in general. Yes, that's what I had to say. Yeah, so you guys recently actually moved, not recently, but you moved into an apartment.
House.
You guys had this house. Oh, even better. So you guys had to set a lot of stuff up because I heard the difficulties from Rob when you guys were moving in. So let me know, how was the internet? Because I know internet is a big subject in all of the house apartment areas in Japan. Not because it's bad, it's actually the internet is great, but it's annoying to set up and the whole paperwork stuff. So how was that for you guys?
It wasn't fun, and it took a long time. It took like a month to get internet here, and we just were Wi-Fi-less and had to depend on our data on our phone. And I had a pocket Wi-Fi, but it was maxed out because Rob has to work online, especially before he was fully online and he needed Wi-Fi. And I let him use my only pocket Wi-Fi. But when we had to transfer the previous apartment's Wi-Fi to this new house, it was just the longest transfer ever. I had to get one of my friends to make many phone calls because our phone company is what provided us the Wi-Fi, but apparently there's another company they go through for that to work out, and I didn't know that. We didn't know that. We had to like go through this company to go through that company to change something, take a call, change address, get permission from this place to see if we were allowed to have this type of Wi-Fi here.
They asked the landlord about it?
Yeah, we had to ask. Yep.
Okay,
Our Japanese roommates to ask the landlord, could we have Wi-Fi? Because they had to do some like little installation somewhere.
Oh, they had to make holes or something in the walls? Is that probably why?
Yeah. They had to go underground and make a hole in our wall.
Oh, okay, that's probably why. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And the process was just, I don't know why, it was a whole month, maybe more. And they were like, yeah, sorry, we can give you a temporary pocket Wi-Fi for now. And so, yeah, I was just like, Rob needed Wi-Fi the most. So he was using both of these pocket Wi-Fis and like both of them maxed out because his lessons were long.
Yeah, I was doing multiple lessons a day. I was only using them for work. And I even had other stuff for our current company and other things that I was doing. And when I'd max out the Wi-Fi, because like Diane said, this took over a month, and I used them up within like the first week because it wasn't a lot of gigabytes. And I had to go to the local cafe.
Or McDonald's for free Wi-Fi.
I remember we had meetings where you were at McDonald's.
Yeah,
you know, it was
just for their Wi-Fi. I didn't even go there to eat. Like I'd be like, I'll have an orange juice, and they'd look at me weird. I'm like, okay.
we don't sell that, sir.
I gotta buy something. It's not breakfast, sir. You can't order an orange juice anymore. Oh, dang.
Good thing with our company is that we're very inclusive, and we don't mind if Rob is at a McDonald's, because we understand him. That's fine.
They understand me.
The struggles.
Except when I have ear infections and don't go to the doctor for them.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
That's
Honestly,
when you
that
don't
was
understand life. I'm just kidding.
Look, I don't understand it either. All right,
That's
All
on you. Bro.
That's on me.
all
That's
on you.
that's me.
Yeah,
That's
on
me.
you.
But yeah, for a month I was working out of cafes and McDonald's and other places with hotspots and Wi-Fi available. By like you buy a drink and then you enter the password and then whatever that is. Did that for a month. Part of me actually misses it a little bit because it's just like out of the house. It's like the house is currently my workspace, and that gave me an excuse to make my house not my workspace. But I wouldn't be able to. I mean, like, obviously I did, but it wasn't comfortable doing it every day. Sure.
Yeah. The thing is, because when I moved in Japan, because I moved to Yamaguchi where we were all teaching, and then I moved again in the middle of the year because I was lied to about my schools, right? I've told this story, so I just had to take any apartment to go to Yamaguchi. So that's when I got that, the 2-story apartment, the first one, which was awesome. By the way, it was super nice. It was new, like no one lived there before.
It was nice, yeah.
Only issue, it was far away from the schools. It was close to Rob's school, one of your schools, Rob.
You were closer to my schools than I was.
Yeah.
You were like
So
down
I
the
was like-
street.
Yeah, I could walk to one of your schools. I remember that.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I have to move. So we found another place, and that's when I went to this realtor person. And then she was like, yeah, just where do you want to live? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know any places in Yamaguchi, basically. But she's like, city center is expensive, but you can live there. I was like, okay, let's check. It wasn't that expensive. Like these, like countryside areas, when they say expensive, it's like super cheap compared to Tokyo. If you're coming from Tokyo, right? Or you're coming from a big city in general. Because I remember it was that 1 bedroom, the big living room, the kitchen, and the whole toilet, whatever area, right? So it was kind of big. It wasn't small, wasn't big, but that cost me like 70,000 a month with electricity and everything. That's all in one. That's not expensive, and 70,000 is like what?
It's gonna be under $700. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the salary we made back then, that was easy.
Was it?
It was. It wasn't that bad, and you live in the countryside, so it's a bit cheaper in general. Like the food, whatever is cheaper. So honestly, countryside is a big win for a lot of times if you want to save money and you have a relatively good job. You can save a lot of money, but it's not as fun as Tokyo. But yeah,
But you're all for the countryside.
yeah, I love the countryside. Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
there's ups and downs
that
with
was.
both.
Yeah, they're both nice. But that was the podcast. So we just want to say thank you guys for listening. That was. If you learned something new, let us know. If you have any ideas about the visa stuff or living in Japan, or you have any questions, let us know. We would love to answer them. As you can see, I'm wearing glasses because last time someone told me I don't look like a nerd. So here I am. I'm the nerd now. Huh? Yeah.
Being the
so,
nerd is cool.
Yes, I am a nerd, and you see, the reason I don't wear them is because the light reflects off my glasses. So that's why I don't wear them.
Secrets revealed.
Yep.
Secrets revealed. But anyways,
show
follow
mine
our.
too.
Yeah, she has that.
Mine
Oh, you have a
has a
ring light. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one cares about our lights. Anyways, thank you guys for listening.
do.
Follow our social media. We are. Rob will put them somewhere. You'll see them somehow. Follow the YouTube. Do the commentation. Yeah, look them. Yeah, go down below. We do have
Give us
Instagram.
questions.
Diane. Yes, Diane puts up videos there. You can ask questions there, here, whatever. So
Also,
yeah, thank you very much.
I have something to say real quick about that. Hey,
Mhm.
you. Yeah, you. Leave a comment. All right? Say something. We see how many people are watching these videos. Say something.
Mhm.
All right? I'm asking
Drop a comment.
if you have any, recommendations for videos or ideas or anything like that. We want to make more stuff for you guys. So tell us what you want to see.
Or just say hi, like hello, and I'll be like, hello guys.
Yeah.
Just be like, hello Elia, and I'll be like, ignored.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Imagine if you walked up to someone and just stared at them and then walked away. That's what you guys do all the time, except for like one or two of you on occasion. Say something. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't listen to Rob. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.
Go to the doctor.
It was. Thank you guys for listening. We do this because it's fun, and you guys are listening. So So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. And see you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.